O's, I spell it out for you. R-O-S-E, baby, watch me bloom. Look past my thorns and see my truth. Rose Queen's gonna show you how much she loves you.
3, 2, 1. In the Sky podcast, NIkki Sky. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Now, how old are you?
I am 19 years old.
Okay, and where are you from?
Born and raised here in Miami.
Okay, and what was your, upbringing like?
Well, my upbringing was I learned Spanish first, so I speak Spanish and English. Raised by my mom and dad. They've been married my whole life, still married. I have two sisters, one from my mom and one from my dad because they were married before they had me. So it was a pretty lonely upbringing because my sisters were, always at their parents' house and back and forth like here too as well. But besides that, I am very close to my sisters and my mom and dad, and yeah, my upbringing was really good, very close to my family. They're very supportive of everything I do, so I can't complain about that.
That's awesome. That's always good to have both parents still together and whatnot. Really helps for the support. And I've always noticed that, like, when I talk to artists and whatnot, like, they're usually the baby of the group because that's typically the most outgoing one of them all.
I'm the youngest for sure. I have two older, so.
What's the age difference?
Well, one of my sisters is like 7 years older, and then the other is like 9.
Okay, so they're older.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get into the entertainment industry? Like, what came first?
Okay, so basically I've been dancing since I was like in Pampers. So first I was a dancer, and then when I was 7 years old, I started doing theater. So I started doing singing and acting as well. And then when I was like around 15, I would say 14, I started switching like vocal coaches to branch out from my musical theater voice because I really wanted to start like writing music, and a musical theater voice is much different than what you hear on the radio, and it's like a totally different training and stuff. So I basically had to switch up my voice and my sound, and find another like genre that I wanted to fit into for myself. So I did that, and then I wrote my first song at around like 16, and I didn't release it till I was 18. So yeah.
What made you want to do the switch between, the theater kind of scene to like more of the, what's hot today scene?
Honestly, I always wanted to be on Broadway. Like that was my initial goal before anything else. And I still would love to be featured on Broadway. That's still like a huge dream of mine. But for some reason, I always looked up to people like Miley Cyrus and Beyonce and stuff like that. And I just loved the scene of like going on tour and, having fans and, the whole fame part of it. And besides the fact that you get to do what you love every day, just the part of like traveling the world and having a tour and getting to perform all the time sounded so much more appealing than like being part of a show and being another character, if that made sense. I got to just be myself, be NIkki Sky, and still go like and do my thing,
Yeah, so you wanted to be more of yourself, like in theater you're kind of acting in a way. Okay.
Yeah, exactly, which I still love to do, but I wanted to, tune into who I was more.
And that's good that you kind of had that dancing background too, because that's what a lot of female artists, I don't see a lot of female artists who can't dance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely part of the whole performance and putting on the show. You want to be able to entertain in every aspect. So being able to dance is a great plus.
Now I see here lately you've been like going to like a bunch of like shows and stuff. You've been performing a lot. How did that kind of start?
Well, honestly, I started getting really involved more on my Instagram and my social media, and I just started like meeting a lot of new people around Miami. I started performing at Babylon, and then from Babylon I met people who like hosted their own events, and then they would invite me like through Instagram to perform, and it was kind of just like a big chain. Like everybody just started reaching out to me really to like perform at their events, and I've been really lucky and blessed to just market and meet a lot of people in the Miami area and perform at their events and stuff.
That's definitely awesome. I'm happy to hear that you're doing good and performing a lot, getting your name out there.
Yeah.
That's for sure awesome. What inspires most of your songs? Like, what makes you want to go write what you write and talk about what you talk about?
Well, I mean, most of my songs that are out right now are love songs, so definitely dealing with heartbreak and stuff like that has inspired my songs that are out now. Um, but I mean, there's always different things, like different moods inspired different songs, you know, and different vibes. I have a lot of unreleased stuff right now, things about mental illness, you know, finding yourself and who you are. And I have like, you know, more of a, I would say like X vibe coming out, because you know how X talks about like depression and real life issues and stuff like that. I have things like that kind of in my vault right now, but I'm waiting to release it. So
What made you want to start taking it serious? Like, you know how you said you kind of got into it and that's what you liked, but taking it to the next level, what made you want to go out and actually go perform that first show and like actually start meeting these people in the industry and whatnot?
well, really just the fact that it's fun, and I saw so many people like trying to do it and succeeding. So I thought like, you know, if I have this talent and I was blessed with this ability, why not, you know, believe in myself and put myself out there and just see what the outcome can be. And the outcome was great. So I just kept going with it.
Definitely, it's all about going with the flow and not really overthinking things. Cause
Exactly.
what are your aspirations? Like, where do you want to take this? What do you want to do with this platform that you're kind of building for yourself?
Well, I really, really want to build like worldwide. I want people to know my name and uh, my goal, I guess, like all over the world. And I want to change people's lives with my music, hopefully, and meet new people and help my family, because music is just such a big industry, and you know the people that are in it are so extremely successful. And that's just a really big aspiration of mine, is to just be successful and motivated and always working in something that I'm so passionate about, and be able to just bless the people around me and worldwide while doing so.
That's definitely a good intention, some good intentions to have. Now let's take a couple of steps back. Who is the Rose Queen?
Well, so the Rose Queen is basically my alter ego. To form an analogy for you guys, Beyonce has her Sasha Fierce, Nicki Minaj has her Barbie and her Roman Revenge. So Rose Queen is somebody that I created in a time that I was really, really low and depressed after a relationship ended, and I just really didn't feel like myself. And not only that, you know, being heartbroken was what caused it, but I like suffer from anxiety and depression like since I was really young. So I go through stages in my life where I'm like in little certain episodes that I just really can't be myself, and I had to create this alter ego of Rose Queen, because as a performer you are gonna have to push through those bad days and still be able to put on a show for people and still be happy and, you know, talk to your supporters and fans without, you know, letting anyone down. So I created Rose Queen to just kind of tune into somebody who's confident and loves herself and is like powerful and can, you know, conquer anything.
I like that because I
Yeah.
definitely understand what it feels like to deal with things such as like anxiety and whatnot, because like it just makes you feel like you're trapped in like a box.
Yeah, it really does suck.
Like it just, everything seems so like more dark and gloomy, and then like 20 minutes later, however long it takes you specifically to get out of it, you're like, what the hell? But
Yeah.
I definitely do fuck with the whole you have that to kind of step out of your comfort zone as the Rose Queen. I like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
I like that.
Thank you.
Now, were you referred to that before the song title Rose Queen dropped?
Actually, I was not, but I kind of just like created it, and then people caught on, and people actually refer to me as that now. So it's actually really cool because I wanted that to happen.
So, like this alter ego exist like without a name before, or
um, I mean, yeah, it did exist before until I wrote the song and I like officially created it. You get me?
yeah?
Yeah, like where people started catching on and like they loved the song, so now they kind of just like it's like a little wave that people like call me the Rose Queen and stuff. Like when they see me, or like they'll comment under my pictures like the Rose Queen herself, or little cute things like that.
Is that what inspired the tattoo of the rose as well?
Well, actually, I got the Rose Queen before I wrote the song, and it had to do like with the whole confidence thing, and
Hmm.
then I wrote the song and connected it to the whole rose tattoo and rose theme, and then after I wrote the song I actually got Rose Queen tatted on my hip. So yeah.
Okay, okay. Um, you were baptized, I saw. Tell me how that has affected your life and your career as of right now.
Well, I've always been very spiritual and close to God, because I was born into a Christian family. I was always raised in the church, and when I was baptized, it honestly just made me feel more committed to who I wanted to be, and it was just more of a reminder of staying on the right path and sticking to my goal, and knowing that God has a bigger plan and a bigger future for me. And if you stray off the course and you do things that aren't right for you or for your career or your family, God is never going to bless you with the plans that He has in store for you. So that was just like a physical and like how do you call it, like in person reminder of to stay focused and on the right track.
It's definitely like everybody needs something to pick them up every day out of bed and kind of push them towards something. And I I don't find myself too religious, but I don't knock anybody for being religious. Of course, if someone who is religious will criticize or put put someone down just because they don't have a belief system in their life, then that's when I kind of don't mess with it. But if someone's just doing their own thing, I'm not gonna knock something just because for a lot of people that is something that they revolve their world around, and it helps them in certain ways. Certain
Yeah.
things like I don't think that. I mean, you might not agree, but I don't think that someone should just sit around and wait for God to do things for them. I think that you
Oh,
should
no,
go out
no.
and get it yourself.
Yeah, of course. You should always work for what you want. But I've just always believed that, God, loves you and does
Hmm.
want you to succeed. So He's obviously going to help you if you're staying focused and on the right track.
Now,
But
on the
yeah, you
sub,
just sit down and do nothing. You're never going to get anywhere.
yeah, I know a lot of people like that. It's like, yeah, just kind of sit around and wait for some God or something to kind of turn my situation around. I'll just keep on praying. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, I don't know. I don't know what to say to those type of people. But there's definitely a lot that I know. Now, on the subject of God, you actually, when we were talking about recording this a while back, you mentioned something about people putting you down because you were open about your faith in God. Now, how does that usually go?
Oh, well, I don't necessarily get put down for my faith in God. I get more put down actually by people who are like, Christian and in the church and religious for my career path, because as an artist, you have to take risks and you have to stand out and be different. And I have always believed that God doesn't judge anybody and He loves everybody in this world, so I'm not one to like be against gay people or gay couples. Like I'm very acceptive of anything and everyone really, and every background and any upbringing, because we're all human. And like I've just never been one to discriminate. And as an artist and a Christian, I get discriminated a lot because people say like, oh, like how can you be a Christian if you're cursing in a song, or like wearing that outfit and you're showing all this skin. Like, you know, just certain things like that that people say or people hate on just really sucks because it has nothing to do with being a Christian. It's the fact that I'm an artist and I have to have my own look and my own style, you know? And I've just always believed that, you know, God's going to love me regardless what I do. I mean, he gave me this talent to use it. So I think it's my job to create who and what I want to do with it, you know?
Definitely. And it's not like, it would be different if like you were a Christian singer and then you were putting up the image, but you don't. I mean, from the music I've heard, I haven't really heard too many references to God and stuff, which that's fine and all, but I don't see why someone should be pressed just because you believe in God and you also do this. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I don't know. What like file do you go under in Christianity, like Catholic or like?
I was raised in like a Baptist Christian church, so I mean, I'm just Christian, plain Christian.
Okay, yeah, I just believe in God. Okay, I get that.
Yeah, basically.
What would you say some of your recording process for your songs are? How does that go?
Like the whole writing process and stuff too, or just?
Just the whole thing.
Okay, so basically, usually I first find a beat, then after listening to the beat multiple millions of times, I figure out the vibe and like the story that I feel the beat is telling me, and then I come up with a melody. So I usually just like hum something out to the beat, and then after that I'll grab my journal and I'll sit down and I'll like write lyrics to my little melody that I've created, and then of course I hit up my producer and my engineer and we'll go into the studio and make it happen. And that's usually the whole process for my songwriting and how I record and stuff.
Okay, so you're like old school, the pen and paper.
Yes.
A lot of people are phone notes.
Yeah, I mean, I write on my notes as well because a lot of times, like sometimes I'll just end up in the studio and then like they'll be like, oh, want to record? And I'm like, oh, sure. So they'll throw on a beat and then I'll just write it on my phone if I don't have my journal on me. But I like to like sit down in my backyard and do like the whole process and write it in my journal and like physically have it because I just feel like that's like a memory and it's more like official that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, this is a little bit irrelevant, but like in school, the notes would stick a lot easier if you actually wrote them down and just didn't copy them off somebody.
Exactly.
It's kind of the whole same ordeal. I get that. Now, you say a lot of people have came out for their support with you. Has anybody really came out and just despised you or like just kind of try to put you down?
Yeah, honestly, I haven't received a lot of hate towards my music and towards what I'm trying to do, but there's definitely a few people that like on my music video the other day, like somebody commented something super rude, and it's just like I laugh at that stuff because it's like, why take the time out of your day to just like hate on somebody? Like if you don't fuck with my music, like just go somewhere else, you know.
Exactly.
But you know, there's always gonna be haters, and those people definitely push me to just go stronger.
Exactly, because if someone takes the time out of their day to even give you the thought or just to say anything nasty or nice, then you're doing something right, obviously. Especially if it's nasty.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, the heck.
What's kind of a message you want everybody listening to know about you?
A really important message, well, about me or like something that I would want to share like to people?
Anything.
Okay, well, a really important message I like to share with, the people that listen to me or hear me is that you should always, always believe in yourself and in your goals and aspirations, because if you want something, the universe wants you to have it, God wants you to have it, so you might as well just go for it and speak what you want into existence, because there's enough success and joy and peace out there for everyone. I just feel like people have to switch their mindset and, just go for it.
Definitely. You have to make the universe work in your ways, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Are there any shout outs you want to give to anybody?
For sure. I would love to give a shout out to my family, my momager, my dad, my sisters, VP Booking, Vana, Babylon Miami, 103.5 iHeart Radio, and definitely just all my friends, all my whole squad. All of you guys know who you are, and of course everybody who believes in me. So shout out to y'all.
Thank you for listening to the In the Sky podcast, and thank you, NIkki Sky, for coming on here. It was awesome to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.